Good morning. Welcome to Thought for the Day. Well, I'm going to continue the theme of freedom. Um, Christ came to set us free from the power of sin and death. And what I want to do is take you back over 30 years ago. My in-laws were living with Elaine and myself and our two children in my house. I bought it. Well, it was a mortgage. However, to the outside world, it looked as if my in-laws were taking pity on us and we were living with them. Eventually, as Elaine says, you can't have two cockerels in the same hen coop. Doesn't work. And after a few years, things broke down and I ended up leaving my home. And Elaine and the children followed. A Cold War type of thing broke out and took place over the next few years. Then one day, probably, to be honest, she'd probably been telling me quite a few times, but one day the message got through and Elaine said, if you carry on like this, it's like a cancer eating you from the inside. It will eventually kill you. What I didn't know was that other people had also been affected. Some were on my side and championing my cause, and some were on Peter's, championing his. Eventually, through a set of events, which I'm not going to go into because it'd take too much time to explain, and also I want to get to the bit that really needs to be told. We got together. Peter and I basically got on. Things happened, things changed, and because there was a seed change, eventually other things changed as well. But it took a vision from God to change the way that I looked at things. And I'll explain. That's the bit I want to explain. I was standing and I was looking at myself standing in front of a massive, great black wall. It's the simplest way of explaining it. And I could see myself standing there and all this wall was in front of me. And a voice said to me, all you've got to do is get together and say sorry. You've got to say sorry. And I went, no, I'm not. He says, because if you do, this is what will happen. And it was as if I was picked up and literally moved backwards. So the wall was there and I was being picked up and moved backwards. And as I got further and further back, I could start to see over the wall. And then I got further and further and further back. And this wall, this terrible black thing, was a little speck. But over, over the top of the wall, I could see fantastic things. It was all lights and happy things and good things and nice things. It was like, wow. And the voice said again, all you have to do is say you're sorry. And I went, that's not going to happen. He said, okay, well, if it doesn't happen, none of this will happen. And I went, whoa. And you know, that big wall standing in front of me was so small, it was like, I can do this. And that's exactly what happened. And that changed so much. Me, first of all, saying sorry, that was a big thing because I was like, it's not my fault, it's his fault. But to say the sorry, that was the big thing. Didn't have to be accepted, but it was accepted, even though in my heart of hearts, I really didn't feel that I needed to be sorry for anything. But that was the thing. So I did that. You know, the amazing thing is, since then, our relationship has gone from strength to strength. And so much so, and absolutely amazing, and members of the family have commented on this, that for the last 6 or 7 years of their life, they appointed me as the sole power of attorney with permissions over their life. And I controlled all their finances, I controlled their lives, their medical lives and everything. And because of that, I was able to put them into really good nursing homes, and they had fantastic lives for the last few years of their lives. What a privilege that has become, what it could have been. And why share that today? And I think, well, there are certain times in our lives or in the year, Christmas being one of them, where we start to think about things. And I want to share it today because of two things. Firstly, it's a testimony of the grace of God. Right? He could have easily just said, that's it, I've had enough. But secondly, we have a freedom given to us through Jesus. And it's too precious to waste on past misunderstandings, on a bit of pride, on, well, I'm not going to say sorry. Christ came to set us free. Let's use that freedom to build bridges, to heal wounds, and to help and to keep the things that haunt us, let's put it nicely, from carrying on, having the power to do that in our lives. Sometimes it says, I'm sorry, is the powerfulest thing you can say, and it breaks so many things. That's what I wanted to share. Christ came to set us free from the power of sin and the power of death. Have a fantastic day, really safe day. May God bless you, and speak to you soon. Bless you all.